Good morning, happy Mother's Day to all those awesome mothers out there, especially mine. This video is actually dedicated to my awesome mom, who, if you have met me and my mom, you will understand how crazy alike we are. We're equally as energetic and hyper and whatnot. This video is dedicated to you, Mom. Today's video is about the most important life lesson that I have learned from 9 months of travel. I could not figure out why for basically almost 9 months, I was never fully happy. I was almost half depressed while traveling. And that's not something a lot of travelers actually admit. And this video is probably gonna get a lot of hate for that, but I really wanna discuss just one of the negatives to travel, really. I don't know, maybe people are just embarrassed to talk about the negatives of travel, but there are negatives. It's not worth ignoring. And so yeah, today's video is about one of those negatives that I personally found the most important and the biggest life lesson for me. And that is about a community. Cheers! I'm gonna write that. Big words, community. And what a community is, basically a family. It's a family that you're surrounded with. So that means your immediate family, your friends, your job, your co-workers, the local coffee shop down the street that you keep going to, the supermarket that you always go to. Familiar things in an area is what creates your community. These are things that I at least took for granted, and I never realized the importance of them. And so this video is also dedicated to all those graduates. Congratulations on graduating. You're free. It's awesome for the first few months. And then, I don't know where it's gonna take you, but it definitely took me on a crazy roller coaster. 1 year ago today, I graduated as well. Yeah, I've definitely learned a lot in this last year. I didn't take the traditional route, or I guess nowadays it's kind of traditional, but when I graduated, I decided to join the nomadic lifestyle and long-term travel. You know, it's kind of becoming this growing trend or fad or whatever you want to call it about that traveling is therapy, traveling cures everything. I'm gonna quit my job and throw everything away and just go off and travel. And while that's great and that does work beautifully for some people, how do I put this? It's not as great as it sounds. There's a lot of drawbacks. Fortunately, had some not so nice people here who jacked my camera and my debit card, and my computer decided to finally croak. My whole point with this is talking about this community, right? My mom brought this up and she told me that, you know, maybe that's why you're depressed, because you don't have that. You just keep going from country to country and you have nothing. You're starting from scratch every time you do that. And that's hard. I grew up, thankfully, in the same hometown my whole life in San Diego. All the way up until high school, I was in the same area. I had the same friends, well, change of friends, but I had the same family, same circle of friends all the time, same area, same familiarity. And then I go off to college. It's a little different, right? But I'm still placed into a community. Now I'm like living high on life. I'm in the dorms, meeting tons of people. This is super fun. Second year, I move into an apartment. Then I stay abroad. Then I finish my last year. Like, it's all great. It's all awesome. And it's memories that I'm so happy I have, and I can cherish them. But then you jump off into the real world. While it's great, it sucks at first because you cannot figure out why you're not happy if this happens to you. I'm not saying this happens to everybody, but I have seen already tons of posts on Facebook. I've talked to many graduates, many people who've gone through this transition just like me, and they all have similar stories. Oh my God, what did I do? Like, I got the wrong major. I don't like any of this. I need to go back to school, spend thousands of dollars more. Or I hate my job. Why did I decide to be an accountant? I don't want to be an accountant. Why did I move to the state, this country? Like, you just panic. All these things just start happening, and then you start being like, God, I miss the old days. I miss being in college. Like, oh my God, I want to go back to school. Like, but I always hated school, so why do I want to go back to school? Just all these things start rushing and happening. For me, it felt worse because now I'm in some country I don't know, and I can't even, it's hard to get Wi-Fi to call anybody, and now I'm like, oh my God, I just want a bagel. Where do I get a bagel? Like, it doesn't exist in this country, or I just want something that is familiar, and there's nothing there. So then you really start to panic, and then I'm like, I don't even have friends. Like, okay, I met a friend at a hostel and they were really cool, but now she's off to another country, next adventure. Then you start to feel lonely, and you don't understand why you're not happy. And so this is what happened to me. As I've been traveling for these last 9 months, people would always message me like, oh my gosh, I saw your videos and your pictures, and you just must be having the time of your life. I I never answered yes. I always answered yes and no. There are great things about this and there are shitty things about this, and that's just the reality of it. Yes, I can go explore and do adventures, but one, I'm always on a money budget. Like, I'm always super careful because I don't know when I'm gonna get income next. It's very unstable. Two, like, I'm always moving around. I'm constantly packing my stuff back up, and I'm you know, I'm staying in this hostel, I'm staying outside, I'm staying wherever, and nothing's familiar. People do talk about this in travel vlogs, is about how you're never alone. While that's true physically, I will not agree with that mentally, because fine, if you stay in hostels and it's great, there's tons of people for you to meet all the time. It's like going to a new school over and over and over and over again, or new job over and over and over and over again. Same thing you do is, hi, nice to meet you, where are you from? How long have you been traveling? I hate that question. Same conversations, every single person. Sometimes you have really deep connections, sometimes you don't. Oh great, this is a nice person, but now they're gonna leave the next day off to their next country that's nowhere near where you are. And so then you start feeling super lonely, especially if you're a solo traveler, because as soon as you get to a hostel, the first thing you want to do is like, who's around, like who can I ask go get like a bite to eat with, or to go to a museum with, or I don't know, just talk. It becomes kind of difficult. It's not like you walk into a hostel and everybody's like, hey best friend, like come here. That's not how it works. You still have to make the effort. It's exhausting. It's not just a friend you pick off where you left off. You have to start over and over again. It becomes tiring and it becomes lonely because you just feel like maybe you're not making all these deep connections. And let's say you do, then you have to face the worst part about it is that they're traveling too. Maybe you'll go on an adventure with them, but you will eventually split unless something else happens and you stay together. But like majority of the time, you guys split. So you meet all these people, you make these great connections, and these connections kind of slowly fade away and you lose contact. Yeah, that's why I really want to make this video and talk about maybe if you don't feel that happy, or you feel like something's missing, or you're upset with life, maybe think about what is your community? What are you surrounding yourself with? And notice a community is not anything material. You know, it's not your apartment, it's not your bed that you love, it's not your clothes, it's not, I don't know, television, PS2, PS3, whatever number they're on. It's none of that. Those are all replaceable. Who's not replaceable are your friends. Amazing connections you've made. I mean, there's tons of people in this world. There's good, there's bad, whatever. There's millions of good people out there. But the hard part is finding the people that you connect best with, that your personality personally matches with. And that's the hard part. And creating those relationships. Relationships take time. They take trust. You don't necessarily get that opportunity to do that when you're long-term travel and you're bouncing from country to country and you're spending a short amount of time. It just makes it more difficult to make that connection and to keep that community. I'm really happy, and I'm happy because I've started to create a community. I'm making friends here. I've started networking and figuring out what I'm gonna do here, meeting lots of people. I found a Walmart. That's like my favorite place because I just need Western stuff, and I found English translations on food, and that was a plus. I feel important. I feel loved. I feel connected. You know, I think that's something I didn't realize would take a toll on me from long-term travel, is that I didn't have a place to go back to. And so that was really starting to scare me because I was like, where's my end goal? What am I trying to achieve? I don't have unlimited money. I need to figure something out. But I couldn't decide, where do I do that? And I couldn't decide, well, what am I looking for? What am I missing? And that's where it clicked. A community. It's so important. Like, you can have a job that you hate, but maybe the people you work with is the reason you're staying. Anyways, like I said, this video is dedicated to my mom because she taught me this life lesson that I didn't really understand for 9 months, and now I understand, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Okay, happy Mother's Day, and tell your moms that you love them, and just tell everybody they're awesome because people like to hear that. Okay, bye-bye.
Also qualifies for that grand prize too, which is a walk-on.